This has to do with immigration. Fox News reports 3 active tuberculosis cases reported in Maine as deadly disease continues to tick up across the country. TB killed around 1.3 million globally in 2022. As in the last year, I believe there are about 10,400 cases of tuberculosis in the United States. That was a high. It had been going down after 2011. It is now at a considerable high. I don't want to say it's a record or anything. I don't know for sure, but it is very, very high for this country. And there's a very obvious reason why tuberculosis is so high right now in the United States. Would anyone like to take a meandering guess?
Maybe immune systems being destroyed from the last 4 years?
No. Illegal immigrants.
Illegal immigrants.
That maybe too.
The mass importing of people from third world countries where tuberculosis is more common, as the United States has antibiotics and extremely easy to eradicate. Actually, a premise of a House episode we watched recently, where this fancy doctor who goes to Africa was like, TB is curable, but we won't give the drugs to these countries. In the United States, you walk into the hospital, they hand you a little cup and say, here's your medicine, you'll be fine in no time. How is it then that TB is on the rise? We imported tons of sick people from the third world. Now, here's what gets scarier. The rate of increase, the amount of tuberculosis cases should actually be going down, considering fertility is down. Another point that was made in the morning debate, that when we say something like, hey, crime is down, the argument from the liberal, crime is down, meaning we've done a good job of stopping violent crime. Well, that's a spurious correlation. The data suggests many things, one of which is with lower fertility means less young people. The population increased only because of net migration from adults. Crime is typically perpetrated by young men. Mainly older teenage males commit crimes. When fertility declines, 20 years from that point, you will have a smaller number of older teenage males, meaning your crime rate will go down. It does not actually mean that crime as a percentage has gone down or you've done anything good as a society. It actually is bad. So when tuberculosis is up, when population is down, it's indicative of a higher rate of transmission, largely among illegal immigrant newcomer population. This is really bad for the country.
So we shouldn't do it.
I've been playing a bunch of Crusader Kings. You guys ever play that game?
No.
And it's just all about conquest and just ripping people out of their homes. You're just a king in the Middle Ages. The way you would handle an immigration crisis, I mean, really, in 1700, what you would do in 1320?
You play Civilization?
With a sword.
Dude, it is
With a
all,
sword.
it is, yeah,
That's
the fast way. I mean, that's the ultimate way.
You know what I love? Civilization 7's bombed, and I guess Firaxis is firing tons of people because of how bad the game was. I guess it's what happened. We have a competency crisis in this country. But I will say this. To anybody who's played the Civilization games, notably after, I think, 4, when they introduced borders. You played Civ, right?
All of them except 7.
Yeah,
I haven't played the newest
one. I ain't going to play it. Okay, so anyway, for those that are not familiar, Civilization is a recommendation for all of your children who are old enough to use a computer. Keep them off the internet, but Civilization is great. I say 4, where you get Leonard Nimoy reading all those famous quotes. 4 was fantastic.
I love it.
So you build a city. The game is basically, it starts with a single individual pioneer or settler. You build cities, you create your country, and over time you build a nation, advance technologically, and there are other nations you're at war with or allied with. The game is Civilization. It's fun. Well, in the game, someone will come to your border, and you will then have a meeting with their king, and maybe it's Caesar, maybe it's Abraham Lincoln, who knows? And they will say, I propose open borders between our peoples. And sometimes it's worth doing. That means your people can move through their country and explore, and their people can move through your country and explore. But for anybody who's played the game, the people who developed it understood something. You will meet a rival nation on your border. They will ask for open borders. You will agree. And you'll start to notice military armed individuals from their country come through your country and then kind of just stand there. And there's one guy standing like that. They put their military guy near my city, just standing there. What's he doing? And you'll say, well, I guess we have open borders. What's the big deal? The next turn, another guy. The next turn, another guy. The next turn, another guy. Then there's like 7 military units from their country in your country through open borders. And you'll send an emissary to their leader and say, what's the big deal? And they'll say, hey, we have open borders. What's the problem? The next turn, they attack you and take over your cities. You open your borders. Slowly they come in and tell you everything's fine. And then once they have critical mass, they say, we're declaring war on you. and then you take over your city and you lose your country.
Anecdotally,
That's civilization.
One of the games, I think it was Civ 5, they made it so when they did do a surprise attack on you, all their units got moved out of your country by default. It was super cheap because that's not what happens in real life. In real life, they're already here. So,
and that's the point.
yeah.
It is a really fascinating game where you can take over their country through culture.
Yeah, that's
what America likes to do.
Yeah, and science. I like science. Science because you can build the best military with the best science. You can build the best culture with the best science.
I love that game because my strategy was always leave me alone, very libertarian American style, and I would mass industry, technological development, mass militarization, but never war. And then when the country was stupid enough to declare war, I'd nuke them.
The reason I brought up the game, video games in general, and games, and just because it's such a traumatic, like it's this experience of this mass migration over the last 4 years has been such a traumatic on my psyche. I mean, I'm constantly thinking about like how do we deal with it without dragging people out of here, but you have to drag people out.
So northwards of 12 million in Biden's 4 years, north of that, that's 6 Idahos.
And one Idaho is too many.
You can destroy an entire country. Like Romans, not all countries are destroyed by an invasion or a plague. Sometimes you're destroyed because the fabric of your society has been distorted to the point of destruction by immigration, rapid immigration.
Actually, I just want to clarify. It was a joke. Idaho's actually awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
What is?
Idaho.
Yeah.
It is.
Thanks.
I know people who have moved there because it's good family. Yeah, Idaho's
It's great. I knew it was a joke.
Yeah. But there's going to be someone out there being like, how dare you, Tim? Idaho's great. I know. Idaho is awesome.
A lot of wide open space.
Potatoes.
So I'm looking at like, how do we handle now? I'm like, immigrants are coming here and bringing disease to our country now.
Handle
And
immigrants by deporting them.
55 million visa holders.
Yeah, if they so much as sneeze wrong, they need to go. Right? If
A
they
visa
don't,
holder?
if they don't,
So like a tourist shows up and they're just like, I'm very great to see your country. Achoo! Out!
well, if they don't cover their nose, yes. if they sneeze on someone, gotta go. I mean, look.
I'll go so far as if my cat sneezes, they're out.
Yeah, there you go. But look, the point is, we need to use every legal means necessary to remove the people that are here illegally. And if you have a visa, you are here as a guest. So if you break any of our laws, you do anything that is counter to that will not benefit America or that will harm America, you just gotta go. And I've said this a bunch of times, just like we were talking about with Hyundai. If people employ illegals, go after the companies. The Democrats say that all the time. Go after the companies. Yes, they're right on that. Same thing with people that rent homes or apartments to illegals. If you're knowingly renting to illegals, go. They lose their property.
They got good skiing in Idaho.
Yeah.
They do.
Good mountains. Do you think that there's like an off ramp, or maybe a better phrase for that? Like, is there a descent after the immigration crisis that we're experiencing right now? Like, is there a level of amount of people that have been extricated now that we can stop national emergency-izing
I
it?
want to see a complete shutdown of all immigration except for O1 visas for the next decade.
I think you'd agree with other visas.
Well, okay. So the reason I specify O1s is because they're for people that are a benefit. If we have individuals,
There's I think it's like the K visas.
if there are individuals that actually bring a benefit to the United States on an individual level, they can come. Their family can't come, right? Maybe a spouse and kids, but granny can't come. Cousins can't come.
So what about someone who is marrying somebody? That's the K1 visa.
Yeah, if you're married and your family, your immediate family can come. Fiance.
So if you're going to get married to someone, they get a K1 visa, they can come, and then you get married to them, they can be here.
Yeah, that I think that's fine.
But brother, there's so many visas. I actually, and I agree with what you're saying. I just think that for the sake of clarity, we can point out O1 isn't the only visa you would personally approve of. There's many of them.
My premise is if you're going to come to the United States and bring a specialty skill or something like that, then fine. So there probably doesn't need to be as many types of visas. You could probably cover that stuff with.
So, but let's go through this. I'd love to go through the nitty gritty of these visas. So tourism visas largely are okay because you have 3 months.
Yep.
But there's obviously people who seek to overstay and use that illegally. Trump has said, we're going to do a fee. It's $250 to apply. When you leave, you get it back. But there's business, B1 business visitors. Typically, when someone from like allied nations want to come here for business, they just show up and we have visa on entry. Totally fine with it. There's student and exchange programs. I actually think we should slice those way down. So that's F, M, and J visas. I don't really care about having all these Chinese exchange students coming to the United States.
Anyone that's a visitor, they should either get like an air tag or an app in their phone, so that way the federal government can monitor their location. You're not a citizen. You don't have the right to privacy.
Let's play that game too. Like if you come here on a work visa, then we get to put an ankle monitor on you.
Yep.
I mean that figuratively. Like we should be able to track. Like you do not have the same rights. You are a visitor. But let me point this out. H-1B, everybody knows. H-2A, gone. That is temporary ag workers. H-2B, gone. Temporary non-ag workers. We don't need that. H-3, trainees, nope. H-4, dependents of H, no way. The L-1A and the L-1B, intra-company transferees, managers, executives, or specialized knowledge, I say absolutely not. So many of these other countries won't let so in the United States, a Brazilian can launch a company right now on the internet and then use that company to hire themselves and find a way to migrate here to the United States. They don't allow that. All these other countries, many of them don't allow us to send our citizens to their country to be managers. So I don't know why we do this. Now, there is the O1, extraordinary abilities, O2, support for O1 visa holders, O3, and the dependents of the O1. So the O visas we're largely okay with. We're talking about like you're a rocket scientist coming here, the staff members of the rocket scientist, Elon Musk or whatever, and the dependents, okay, you can't tell them they can't have their kids.
I'm actually helping sponsor the guy who invented flash Joule heating process.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's the P visas, artists, athletes, and performers, and their dependents. I'm actually totally fine with that as well. The issue there is just it's got to be legitimate, qualifying, and they got to basically pass the test. Okay, so which is if someone says I'm an extraordinary athlete, like we're literally talking about a baseball player from Japan, golfer, best of the best, world record breaker, and they're like, I want to come and play on the American team or golfer. I'm totally cool with that.
No mariachi bands.
No.
What if it's the best mariachi band?
No.
Bro, mariachi bands are awesome.
They can be, but they can be skilled musicians, but I'm not a fan of mariachi.
American mariachi bands.
And then there's the R visa holders. Do you know what R visa holder is? Religious workers.
No.
Depends on the religion.
Missionaries.
So I'm actually, I say no to this completely because I don't think the government should create a special class for someone on religious grounds to be here. You're either here for a legitimate tourism reason, but this argument would be that Muslims can come as missionaries to the United States, and their right to be here is simply because they're Muslim. I don't care if they're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Confucius, Taoist. Whatever. Yeah, Taoist. Yeah.
Feeling Taoism lately.
Like someone being like, I should get to come to your country. Why? I'm a Taoist. It's like, come on. Simply because you believe something? No.
No, you should allow Christian missionaries to come.
I don't think as much as I would prefer a Christian missionary over many other missionaries, I don't think simply because you believe in a certain religion, because basically everyone's just going to try and make that argument to gain access. So
Right. But societies have to make up their mind on stuff.
Sure.
And one of the things we could make up our mind on is that Christianity is a blessing to society and other religions aren't.
It's funny because there are a lot of, I don't know what you'd call it, left people who also then found Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I trust them, but I'm not gonna blame someone for bettering their life. And I personally know people who have been saved by Christianity. I personally don't know people whose lives have been damaged by Christianity. I've not heard stories like that. But I know drug addicts and former gang members who, when they came to Christianity, they were saved. They live good lives.
The book I did with Christopher Hitchens, the title is Christianity Good for the World? And I think the answer is resoundingly yes. I happen to believe I don't want to make a pragmatic argument simply for Christianity because I'm a preacher. I want to say we should believe it because it's true, not because it's helpful. Because, like you said, people can argue lots of self-help things are helpful, but basically you have to, at some point, missionaries are a thing. Christianity is a missionary religion. if we don't want some country that we have a trade agreement with banning Christian missionaries from America going there, then I don't think we should ban Christian missionaries coming from them.
You know, the historical revisionism is interesting, and it's funny that Christians allowed it to happen. When you hear these stories from the leftist activists about like the oppression of the Native Americans and all that stuff, and it's just like, you know, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that the law of 1600 was something we'd uphold today. Okay, I mean, bad things happened across the wars were bad, and people did bad stuff. We get it. But how are you going to defend child sacrifice rituals and like ripping people's hearts out? I'm not saying all Native Americans were bad, but this argument that European Christian colonists were uniquely evil is just like, oh, spare
You know, the
me.
Aztec.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.